And welcome to the 64th episode of Jazzology presented by Savage Content. I'm your host, Willard Jenkins, and we are here alternating Fridays giving two jazz fans the opportunity to compete against each other for a chance to win $100. Each contestant will be asked a question worth 2 points. If they're unable to answer correctly, their opponent will have a chance to steal the question for 1 point. We'll ask 10 questions, and at the end of the 10 questions, the person with the lowest score will get a bonus question for the opportunity to tie the score, no matter how far they're behind in the score. If they're successful, the game will go to sudden death. The person in the lead at the end of regulation will go first, and each contestant will take turns trying to answer the sudden death multiple choice question until we have a winner. And now let's meet this week's contestants. Our reigning Jazzology champion is Matt Merewitz, the founder and director of Fully Altered Media since 2007. Matt Merewitz has become known as one of the most in-demand publicists and consultants in the world of creative music. Matt resides an hour north of New York City with his wife, daughter, and chocolate lad. Our challenger for this 64th episode of Jazzology is Scott Gutterman. Scott has written about art and music for Artforum, GQ, The New Yorker, Vogue, and other publications. His most recent book is Sunlight on the River, Poems About Painting, Paintings About Poems. He is the deputy director of New Gallery in New York. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Willard. Appreciate it.
And now let's get to today's Jazzology. As our reigning champion, Matt Merewitz goes first. You ready, Matt? You ready?
Sure.
All right. Matt, Ella Fitzgerald was discovered at the Apollo Theater after she won a 1934 amateur contest for singing what song? Did she sing Judy, A, or B, Cocktails for Two, or C, I Get a Kick Out of You, D, Tumbling Tumbleweeds, or E, I Only Have Eyes for You? Which of those songs did she sing when she won the Apollo amateur contest in 1934?
It would be hilarious if she had won for Tumbling Tumbleweeds. I don't know the answer to this question. It's going to be, I'm thinking it's a lesser known song, although I don't really know. The first two look enticing. I'm going to go with A, Judy.
And there we have one of the keys to Matt Merewitz's ongoing success is the process of elimination. Indeed, it was the song Judy that Ella Fitzgerald sang at the Apollo in 1934. Scott, you ready?
I'm ready. That was an impressive start.
All right, Scott. Who wrote the tune titled Miss Anne? Was it A, Horace Silver, B, Thelonious Monk, C, Benny Golson, D, Earl Father Hines, or E, Eric Dolphy?
Wow. I have to admit, I don't know this song. I know my Horace Silver and Monk pretty well, and I don't recognize it from there. So I'm just going to have to guess and say Benny Golson.
That's incorrect, and Matt has a smile on his face like he knows the answer to this question. So here we go, Matt. 1 point to steal the point. Who wrote the tune Miss Anne? Was it A, Horace Silver, B, Thelonious Monk, C, Benny Golson has been eliminated, D, Earl Father Hines, or E, Eric Dolphy?
So I learned this song actually from a former employee of mine. I mean, he kind of really drilled it into me how important this song was in the jazz canon. I've always found Eric Dolphy to be challenging. He's definitely somebody that I'm hot and cold on, but it is Miss Anne that appears on Out to Lunch on Luna Records. E. Eric Dolphy.
That is correct. Eric Dolphy did, in fact, write the tune Miss Anne. All right, Scott. Matt, you're up next. Matt, the great drummer Elvin Jones once had an acting role in which of the following films? Was that A, Shortcuts, B, The Landlord, C, Zachariah, D, The Black Godfather, or E, The Terminal?
This is difficult. The Terminal had Benny Golson in it, as I recall. I don't know. I don't think that Elvin was in Shortcuts, which is a Robert Altman film. Yeah, this is very difficult. I don't know the movies The Landlord, Zachariah, or The Black Godfather. I feel like I should know The Landlord, and I feel like I should know The Black Godfather, but this is really not my expertise. I mean, unless he appeared with Benny Golson in The Terminal, that's possible. I'm just gonna go with B, The Landlord.
That is incorrect. Scott with an opportunity to steal the point. Scott, the great drummer Elvin Jones once had an acting role in which of the following films?
Yeah, I also don't know this one. I was thinking The Landlord is a 60s movie, I think. I thought that might be it, but it's clearly not. So don't have a lot to go on here. So since Benny Golson, if you're saying was in The Terminal, I'll try The Terminal.
Actually, the correct answer, the film that Elvin Jones appeared in, was C, Zachariah. All right, Scott, your turn next. Scott, what is the stage name used by the great jazz singer who was born Lily Mae Jones? Was it A, Ernestine Anderson, B, Betty Carter, C, Dinah Washington, D is Dakota Staton, and E, June Christie?
Lily Mae Jones. Not sure about this one at all. So just going to have to wing it. I think Betty Carter was her given name.
I'm sorry.
No, that was not a guess. That was sorry, just kind of sounding it out. I'll just jump in with C, Dinah Washington.
Nope, that's incorrect. And Matt with an opportunity to steal the point. Matt, what is the stage name used by the great jazz singer who was born Lily Mae Jones? Was it A, Ernestine Anderson, B, Betty Carter, C, Dinah Washington has been eliminated, and we have a letter D, and that letter D is Dakota Staton, and E, June Christie?
Okay, so D would be Dakota Staton, huh?
Yes, sir.
Ernestine Anderson, Eddie Carter. I feel like I know this. I can't And you said Dinah was eliminated, correct?
Correct.
Oh boy. I am gonna go with Dakota State and D.
That is incorrect. The correct answer to that question is the singer born Lily Mae Jones was B, Betty Carter. You had that, Scott. That was on the tip of your
man. It sounded like it. But I was ruling her out. All right. I'm going to need that bonus question. Okay.
All right, Matt, which of the following jazz greats was not also a painter? Was that A, Nancy Wilson, B, Miles Davis, C, Duke Ellington, D, Cal Farlow, or E, Pee Wee Russell? Which of those jazz greats was not also a painter?
I'm going to say that probably. Yeah, also not a painter, right?
That's not.
Yeah. Okay. So I have the gut feeling that I know that Duke Ellington made drawings. Definitely Miles Davis was a visual artist. I have a feeling that Nancy Wilson was also a visual artist, but I'm not 100% on that. It's really between D and E for me. I'm going with E, Pee Wee Russell this time.
That is incorrect. Scott with an opportunity to steal the point. Scott, which of the following jazz greats was not also a painter? Was it A, Nancy Wilson, B, Miles Davis, C, Duke Ellington, D, Cal Farlow, and E, Pee Wee Russell has been eliminated?
Right. And again, I know it's not Miles Davis. I actually wrote a book with Miles Davis about his paintings.
All right.
So he's off the table. But among the others, I'm not sure. I also think Duke Ellington sketched. So I just don't know about the rest. So I'll just take a guess and say Tal Farlow.
That is incorrect. The correct answer to that question is Nancy Wilson. A, Nancy Wilson was not a painter. And Matt, you had that on the tip of your tongue. And now it's time for our mid-show break. And at the mid-show break, we have a standard question we ask new contestants. And that is to ask you, Scott, how did you fall in love with jazz?
I had an older brother, had a record collection, so I inherited his Miles Davis and Thelonious Monk and Horace Silver and all those people. I also played in my jazz ensemble in high school and college, and that's what brought me to New York City, and been in love with it ever since.
All right, and Matt, you've answered this question previously, and I appreciate that reference to your older brother's record collection, because so many of us fell in love with the music through somebody's record collection. In my case, it was my father, and I understand how you can fall in love with your brother's record. But Matt, you've answered that question previously, so I want to ask you another question. That is, Matt, when you're considering new records, what positive elements are you listening for?
Okay, so in my capacity as a listener, or in my capacity as a
in your capacity as a listener?
Okay, so honestly, is a major consideration for me. Like, I want the visual aesthetics to sort of line up with the musical aesthetics. But since we're often dealing with, digital products and, you see the name with the artwork at the same time, you kind of gravitate towards certain things. I mean, it goes back to what I answered in a previous answer, which is, who's on the credits. You can know so much about a recording or a musician based on who they work with. If you have some, a priori knowledge of that musician, a lot of the time it's bassists and drummers who you look for. A lot of the time it's piano players. Some of the time it's saxophone players. So
that's kind of how a lot of us learn about the music is by absorbing the personnel and expanding our collections that way.
I definitely also go by record labels that I trust. Like if a record label has a reputation, like I'll give you a contemporary example. There's a record label out of Norway called Small Town Super Jazz that has some really good stuff. They also have a more popular sister label called Small Town Super Sound. There's a newish label out of Richmond, Virginia, run by the bassist Adam. I wanted to say Adam Savage, Adam Hopkins, and the drummer Scott Clark. It's called Out of Your Head. I'll buy anything that's on Out of Your Head. I'll buy anything that's on. I'm not so much a stalwart for Blue Note or ECM as I used to be, but I'm more into contemporary stuff. So labels, artwork, and personnel are really the keys for me.
All right. Well, our record of the week is this particular recording. It's a brand new recording. It's the first release by Cuban vocalist and percussionist and keyboardist Melvis Santa. You may know her from her work with the Kenny Garrett Band. Melvis Santa has a brand new recording called Jazz Orisha. Pick that up.
And also from Jane Bennett's band.
Yes, indeed. That, in fact, Jane Bennett, somebody needs to write something about all the musicians who've come through Jane Bennett's bands that have gone on, all the Cuban musicians that have come through Jane Bennett's bands, because you got Daphnis Prieto and so many others who've come through Jane Bennett's organization. So, Scott, you're up next. Scott, the standard and jam session favorite tune, Cherokee, was most closely associated with which of the following band members as one of their theme songs? Was it A, Duke Ellington, B, Lionel Hampton, C, Charlie Barnett, D, Jimmy Lunceford, or E, Glenn Miller? For which of those band leaders was Cherokee one of their themes?
Gotta say, not clear on this. I think of Cherokee, I think of Charlie Parker, but just gonna have to jump in here with somebody. It certainly wouldn't be Glenn Miller or Duke Ellington. Not sure. I'll say Jimmy Lunceford.
That is incorrect. And Matt with an opportunity to steal the question. Matt, the standard jam session favorite tune, Cherokee, was most closely associated with which of the following band leaders as one of their theme songs? Was it A, Duke Ellington, B, Lionel Hampton, C, Charlie Barnett, D, Jimmy Lunceford has been eliminated, or E, Glenn Miller?
So for me, this has to be between Hamp and Barnett. I'm not aware of Duke Ellington ever playing Cherokee, and if he did, that's a rarity because he only played his own music, mostly. I am going to say B, Lionel Hampton.
That is incorrect. The correct answer to that question is C, Charlie Barnett. Cherokee was one of Charlie Barnett's band's theme songs. All right, Scott. Still got to play catch up, but it's Matt's turn next. Matt, pianist, composer, band leader, and educator, John Beasley leads a band called Monkestra that specializes in reimaginings of the music of Thelonious Monk. John Beasley played his first major concert at Carnegie Hall at age 20 with which of the following NEA jazz masters? Would that have been A, Gary Bartz, B, Hubert Laws, C, Terry Lynn Carrington, D, Diane Reeves, or E, Wayne Shorter?
That's a difficult one. Beasley is, I believe, older or at least the same age as Terry Lynn Carrington, so I'm not going to say Terry Lynn Carrington. I'm not aware of Beasley ever playing with Wayne Shorter, and I know Wayne's discography and bands pretty well. I know that Beasley is closely associated with Diane Reeves on a lot of these things that he does. Yeah, I'm going to go with B, Hubert Laws.
Once again, the Matt Merewitz process of elimination pays off in 2 points. That is correct. It was Hubert Laws that John Beasley debuted at Carnegie Hall in concert with. So, Scott, which of the following contemporary trumpeters is from Los Angeles, California? Is it A, Ambrose Akinmusire, B, Jeremy Pelt, C, Dave Douglas, D, Kurt Knufke, or E, Brian Lynch?
Yeah, I don't know the hometowns here, so just going to have to hazard a guess. Trying to use process of elimination, let's say. All very fine trumpeters. So I will just guess and say Jeremy Pelt.
That is correct. Jeremy Pelt is indeed from L.A. All right, Matt. Matt, which of the following albums was NEA Jazz Master saxophonist Dave Liebman's debut recording as a leader? Was it A, Drum Ode on ECM, B, Lookout Farm on ECM, C, Nightscapes on CBS, D, First Visit on Phillips label, or E, Sweet Hands on A&M Horizon? Which of those was Dave Liebman's debut recording as a leader?
Wow, that's a little hard. I want to say
we got to go hard on the champ.
No, I know, of course, but I associate Dave with Lookout Farm, but I don't know if that's his first. I mean, it would be more. I don't know. I feel like it could be. My inclination is to say I'm going to go with D, First Visit.
That is incorrect. Scott with an opportunity to steal a point. Scott, which of the following albums was NEA Jazz Master Dave Liebman's debut recording as a leader? Was it A, Drum Ode on ECM, B, Lookout Farm on ECM, C, Nightscapes on CBS. D, First Visit has been eliminated. Or E, Sweet Hands on A&M Horizon.
Well, I know First Visit was eliminated. It was compelling because it's got first there. You mentioned that Lookout Farm is a well-known Dave Liebman, so I'm going to jump in with Lookout Farm.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is C, Nightscapes on CBS. All right, it's your turn, Scott. Scott, who was named the Rising Star on trumpet in the 71st annual Downbeat Magazine Critics Poll? Was it A, Jeremy Pelt, B, Jonathan Finlayson, C, Bria Skunberg, D, Etienne Charles, or E, Keon Harold?
71st. I'm trying to figure out what year that puts it to.
That's this year.
Indeed. Okay. Rising Star. Several stars here. Well, there's a lot of noise recently about Bria Skunberg. I'll give that a shot.
C?
Yes.
That's incorrect. Matt with an opportunity to steal the point. Matt, who was named the Rising Star on trumpet in the 71st annual Downbeat Magazine Critics Poll? Was it A, Jeremy Pelt, B, Jonathan Finlayson, C, Bria Skunberg has been eliminated, D, Etienne Charles, or E, Keon Harold?
Oh, talk about inside baseball. Okay, so Jeremy Pelt is definitely in the main category, not the Rising Star. He won that years ago. And I think that the methodology, in fact, I'm sure the methodology, because I deal with Downbeat all the time, that once you've won the Rising Star, you automatically go to the main category. You can no longer compete as a Rising Star. So it's not Jeremy Pelt. I don't think Finlayson has won it yet. Obviously, it's not Bria because she was eliminated. I have this. I mean, for me, right since you put up the question, it's been between Etienne and Keon, and they're both, heavily buzzed, great trumpet players. I have this. It's a toss-up. I will say D, Etienne Charles.
That is correct. Etienne Charles was indeed the winner of the Downbeat Magazine 71st Annual Critics Poll, Rising Star on the trumpet. All right, Scott, time to play a catch-up, and you can do so with this next bonus round question. Scott, which of the following jazz artists was not from Canada? Would that have been A, Maynard Ferguson, B, Oscar Peterson, C, Gil Evans, D, Paul Bley, or E, Ike Quebec?
Which one was not it?
Which one of those is not?
Sure that Oscar Peterson was. I'm just not sure, but I'll give the nod to Gil Evans.
That is incorrect. And Matt Merewitz is our continuing champion because the correct answer to that question, and Matt, I'm sure Matt would have played process of elimination on this one, but it was E, Ike Quebec. The one with the Canadian name was not a Canadian.
Okay.
All right, so congratulations to Matt Merewitz once again.
Congrats, Matt.
Someone out there has to be ready to defeat Matt Merewitz. I'm challenging all of you Jazzology viewers. It's time to defeat Matt Merewitz. Congratulations, Matt, on winning our 64th episode of Jazzology. We encourage everyone to try your hand and play Jazzology. And if anyone watching would like to become a contestant on Jazzology, click the link and simply fill out the form. You must be 18 years old or older, and be sure to follow us on social media at Jazzology Trivia Show to get all the latest news and updates. Thanks so much to Matt and Scott and to everyone who joined us for our 64th episode of Jazzology today. Remember, you can check out Jazzology every other Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you missed the show live, you can find the archive on the Savage Content YouTube channel. Oh, Matt suggested some contestants. All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Willard.